Right, so I haven't done a vlog in a while, so I thought I'd put one together at the request of a couple of people. Baines, it's you. I decided, because I dyed my hair today, that I would talk a little bit about dyeing my hair because I'm always asked about it. It stands out a little bit. Yeah, it's green at the minute. I'll start off by saying that yes, I have to dye it blonde first. It's naturally brown, for those of you who met me after I started dyeing it or have forgotten. I use this hair dye to get it blonde. I know it seems like a strange one to use. It's Schwarzkopf Live Colour XXL Absolute Platinum. But if you use any old random blonde hair dye, it's likely, if you've got brown hair, that it'll turn out ginger. So I used this. To get this in France, I ordered it from Boots. It's handy that they deliver to France, but it cost me a tenner for postage, so I bought 2 of these and it cost me just over £20, so they were basically twice as expensive to get here than they are in England. I didn't want to risk having ginger roots that changed the colour of the colour when it came out in the end. So yeah, that's the hair dye brand I use. I ordered the hair dye a couple of days ago. It came faster than I thought. It said it would take up to 7 days and it took like 2 or 3, so that's pretty good. I mean, I did pay a tenner for it, so I'm kind of glad it came this fast. If it took a week to get here, I'd probably been a bit annoyed, considering it was really expensive. Yeah. The colour itself, I use Directions hair dye. To apply it, I find normally that it's better to use one of the hair dye brushes. I'll put a little picture in here. Brush it into your hair rather than use gloves. I've used gloves before just to put it in like you do with the blonde hair dye, but I tend to find that it doesn't have as much, it doesn't get the hair quite as well, and it might just be my poor skills, but I find it's easier to get an even spread if you use the brush. Yeah. So yeah, Directions hair dye. It lasts a little while. It depends how often you wash your hair. If you do it every day, it's probably gonna last a bit longer than a week or so. I tend to wash my hair every other day to try and keep the colour in. And I don't know, it depends on the colour as well. This green is going to fade out really, really quickly, whereas the turquoise tends to last me a lot longer. Yeah, normally I buy them off eBay because it's cheaper to buy them in a little box on eBay. I normally buy them 4 at a time and then rotate colours and go back to ones I've already bought. But I sometimes, if I wanted to get them quickly because my hair really needed dyeing or something like that, I'd buy them in Norwich because that's where I lived. If you live in Norwich, you can get bright hair dye at Just Essentials, which is near the market, or Rock Collection, which is also near the market. It is a little bit cheaper at Rock Collection. Another thing I would recommend is, if you're going to dye your hair bright colours, find an old towel or buy a new towel, like a hand towel size towel, for the sake of it being your hair dye towel, because the colour runs out quite a lot onto your towel, and if you're using someone else's towels or parents' towels or even your own towels, it can be annoying if they're suddenly multicoloured because you've got hair dye all over them. Normally I do the bleach. And the colour all at once, all in one time. Today I started about 1:15, I think, and it took me until about 4:30 to be able to face the world again. Yeah, so it takes a little while because I bleach it first and you have to wait for that and wash it and put it in and things like that, and then again do it again with the colour. is also quite difficult doing it on your own because you can't see if you've missed bits. What I found was quite useful is if you have a forward facing camera on your phone, sit by a mirror a bit like this and then take a picture of yourself with the forward facing camera, or try and do it with a normal camera, so that you can see the back, because I'll shove a before and after picture, but I attempted that and there was a light patch which I corrected before leaving it to set in, so I'm kind of glad I did that. That's all I really have to say about hair dye really. That was a bit short, but I guess that's good for once, because normally I prattle on and bore you all to tears. Woo!